You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Hello and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host Nesbit, and in May of 2024, Night Demon hits Australia with Cirith Ungol. Final stop on the tour, Melbourne. This is Night Demon Australia.
The following day, we were playing our final show in Australia, 4 in a row, June 1st, 2024, at a place called The Corner in Melbourne.
Up early the next morning to catch an early flight down to Melbourne for the final show of the Australian tour.
Yeah, so we had a flight to Melbourne the next day. 7 a.m. lobby call, Virgin Airways.
And I was a bit concerned because we had a ton of luggage and we had a shitload of merchandise. So we had a lot of boxes. And Anthony booked us. There's this like amazing, I think it's Virgin Airlines is still flying in Australia. And they allow like each customer up to 6 checked bags or something like that. It's insane. So we just loaded all of this shit onto the plane and everything showed up. It was a nice, easy flight.
So it was a pretty short flight. I think we were there in like 2 hours or something like that. We had to drive about 30 minutes. On the way, we stopped at Anthony's dad's place for a minute. I forget why, but he needed to pick something up from there. And that was cool meeting his dad. Really cool dude. He had a cool little dog. See a little local neighborhood there in Melbourne.
And I think this is where we already had 2 sick guys, but the rest of us started to feel really ropey. And the first one that it really hit was Brian, the poor guy. So I think by the airport, he started feeling really, really ill. And when we got down there, Anthony had arranged an early check-in at the hotel for us, which was really helpful, you know. So we got down there and we got our room keys. And I saw as Brian was going into his room, I think the cleaning lady was still there. So he came back out and he looked so bummed out. And he also looked like his legs were about to buckle from underneath him. So I opened my room quickly and I saw, right, there's 2 beds in there. So I just grabbed him and I threw him into the second bed and he was shivering so hard. So the poor guy, I just heaped as many blankets on him as I could.
Brian got really sick and he was like freaking shaking and had fever and, you know, the whole deal, man. He was pretty bad. So luckily we had some time at the hotel before having to load in. at 4 o'clock. So we put him right to bed and tried to get him to feel a little bit better. Poor guy. It's always rough doing that on tour, you know.
I think the heating thing on the wall wasn't working, so I like looked up where the nearest pharmacies were, and I walked out and found one of those and got him hot water bottle and tucked that in beside him just to try and heat him up. You know, for Brian, like, he feels the cold at the best of times because, like, he's from Florida, so pretty much everything's cold to him. But yeah, he really was just shivering hard and just not well at all. So we just got him as rested as he could be.
We got to the hotel. One of Anthony's mates picked us up. He was a really cool guy. And went to the venue. It was the nicest venue that we've had on the tour yet.
I remember on the drive to the venue, I was asking Anthony and his buddy, so this place is a hotel? And they're like, no. So hotels in Australia are like a different thing. So like they can, I'm going to explain this wrong, but I think the gist is they can be accommodation, but they're not always. So this one is like a bar, but it's called the Corner Hotel. So there you go. It's not always a hotel.
The venue in Melbourne was called the Corner Hotel. Killer venue. The venue was really nice. So this was cool. It's cool to end the tour on a high like that. It was really, really good pro venue. Really look forward to playing Melbourne. And look forward to seeing some friends from back home.
It was cool. Ron Baird from the 80s punk band from Oxnard, Ventura area, Stalag 13. He lived in Australia for a long time. He showed up. Armand recently recorded their comeback album with him on it. So it was really nice to see him. And our friend Graham from Annihilation Time.
There's a friend of ours named Graham Cleese, who was from a band called Annihilation Time. That was from Ojai, Ventura. Had some members from Oxnard. And he's gone on to do a lot of really cool projects. You know, he's worked with Dinosaur Jr. and also I think actually plays in a band with the singer, guitar player Jay Massis. I think in a band called Witch. So anyway, rad dude. It's cool to know he was going to come out and support the band. So we did our usual sound check.
The club in Melbourne was another famous location, the Corner. This club had an amazing stage, backstage dressing rooms, several bars, good lights, good sound. Everything about it was fantastic. And above it, there was an upstairs, kind of like an outdoor club, restaurant, whatever you want to call it. It was amazing because there was like quite a few people up there that I didn't even know about. Until right before we played, I took the elevator and went up there to talk to some fans. And I saw all sorts of groups of people, you know, obviously not heavy metal guys, but they were there for, celebrating a local football game or a high school graduation or something. Anyway, the show there was really cool, really nice venue, great sound, had a really good time. I walked around amongst the crowd before the show. I was amazed to see how many Cirith Ungol fans there were, t-shirts on. And at least 5 of the people in attendance were at our original comeback show, Frost and Fire #2 at the Ventura Theater. And that in itself was pretty amazing. But anyway, talking to a lot of the people, a lot of them said that they'd waited their whole lives to see the band. So that was pretty rewarding, the fact that we got to actually make it to Australia and play for a bunch of fans that would have never got a chance to see us otherwise.
Anyway, it was a packed crowd. It was a really nice show. I thought both sets went really well.
You know, another good show was pretty packed in Melbourne. I think it was a Saturday night, which always helps.
It was awesome. It had traditional park hand lights, no LED lights, so it was freaking hot. It was very, very, very hot on stage, and I was sweating buckets.
Most venues we're in these days, you know, it's like newer lights for the most part, like it's all LEDs and stuff. This place had a bunch of like old park hands, which have like colored gels in front, you know, like these films, so like they're set colors. It's the first time since I've been doing Lights with Night Demon that I've come across a kind of old setup like that, and it really made me think outside the box about what the hell I'm going to do, because normally I'm pretty fixed in my color palettes, you know, I have certain songs that go certain colors that just works for them, whereas with this, you know, you're really limited to what's up there on the stage, you know, that they're not going to change color for you. So yeah, I had to do a very different kind of show that night, but it was cool working with, you know, some really old-fashioned stuff. The board itself was also very different. It had this big wheel in front, so it's like if you picture like a cylinder on its side that's like half embedded in the console. And it has a load of labels on the top of it, and then you can roll it with your fingers, and then different labels will show up. So whatever label is showing up towards the top is what the console is being instructed to do. Yeah, it just felt really big and clunky and very alien to me, but also just kind of cool, just for being different and old school.
To your lovers, part to get away.
was nice. It was a good outing.
So we kicked ass that night. I know that for sure.
Melbourne! Are you feeling fucking good tonight? Come on, let me fucking hear you! This is our last fucking Australian show. Everybody's been fucking quieter than you so far. Let's prove it though. Come on, let me hear it one more time. There we fucking go. There we fucking go. Let's give it up for all the bands tonight. We want to give it up to our buddy Anthony Blaney, your mate, for bringing us out here to this wonderful continent. It's been a dream come true. Thank you guys so very fucking much. One more here for you. We'll see you next time. From Ventura, California, Night Demon! But you don't have what it takes. Thank you, Melbourne. You've been a great fucking audience tonight. We'll see you again. Good night.
And after the show, just normal talk to the fans. We had basically sold out of merch, which was nice. And we had a nice ride back to the hotel. It's funny, I'm asked a question here by Nesbitt. How would you describe the experience of touring Australia, and how did it compare to other countries? Much of the same, but it had its own quirks. And I don't know, I loved it. I would love to go back again, and we will. We're talking already with Anthony about 2026 for Night Demon. But it was just amazing. And, I'll always remember Rob Garvin from Cirith Ungol in the van on the ride to the hotel. After the last show, even knowing that we literally I think we were allowed to sleep for 2 hours, and then we had to get on a plane and go to China, to Beijing, which was ridiculous. I think it was a 13-hour flight and then a 4-hour flight after a 3-hour layover, something crazy like that. But just 2 days prior to this, he was, ready to quit the band and just fold the band, and, didn't think he was going to live physically. But at this point, he said, "This has been the best trip of my life." And I was just like, thank God, man. Thank God you hung in there and stuck around. And it's exactly what I was talking about earlier.
All in all, it was an amazing trip. I want to thank once again the promoter Anthony for everything that he did to make it as smooth as possible, and also our brothers in arms and Night Demon. All in all, this was a really successful trip for the band. I never thought Cirith Ungol would ever make it down to Australia, and the fact that we played 3 really successful shows, got to travel around, sightsee a little bit, was a culmination of a life's dream.
So Australia was an amazing experience overall. This tour definitely had a whole lot of challenges, between the sickness and all that being the big part, but the Australian crowds were fantastic. People were really great to us. Anthony looked after us really, really well. So yeah, we'd love to get back there at some point and do it all over again. Thank you, Australia.
I want to give it up to Anthony for bringing us out there and, taking a chance and being a rad dude. Super cool guy, man. I can't wait to get back out there and do more shows with him, just hang out and enjoy maybe some more places next time.
You got to get through things. When you have a big goal and you have a mission, you have to find a way to dig deep and to get through the trying times. You got to keep sight of the end. Always think from the end. And so that was our first experience in Australia. It was amazing. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. I hope the fans do too. And I'm really excited to return.
Well, that's it for this episode, and that's it for the Australia tour. The final Australia tour for Cirith Ungol, but sounds like it's not the last for Night Demon. In the subscriber section this week is full live audio of the Melbourne show. Keep in mind, if you're a subscriber, you can watch all of the video, listen to all the live audio from this tour and past tours. I say it every episode, and I'll say it again. Check out nightdemon.net to see how you can become a subscriber and gain access to all of this bonus content. Until next time, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All hail, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. This is Dusty Squires chiming in to tell you about my brand new signature sticks from the London Drumstick Company. I've dreamt of having my very own drumsticks ever since I was a wee lad, and LDC made that a possibility for me. Founded in 2016 in London, England, the birthplace of heavy metal, the London Drumstick Company has trailblazed a path through the music industry and taken the drummer world by storm. When I met them for the first time, they knew their product was going to withstand the beatings of a Night Demon show. They took the time to work with me on getting everything just right. The balance and weight of my sticks are the same no matter what, and the durability is bar none the best I've ever had. I know my sticks will last through the set night after night. I'm truly honored to work with a company that caters to their players the way LDC does. Their innovation and attention to detail is what separates them from the rest of the stick makers out there. Their custom stick sleeves are unbelievable and really make the entire presentation complete. Wait until you see the design they came up with for me. It blew my mind and was a surprise to say the least. They have all kinds of amazing swag, including hoodies, t-shirts, drummer shorts, drum keys, stick bags, towels, face masks, practice pads, and much, much more. Even if you're not a drummer, you can be a part of Demon history and order my brand new signature sticks direct from their website. How cool is that? And to top it off, the London Drumstick Company are giving an exclusive offer to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. Go to londondrumsticks.co.uk and receive a 15% store-wide discount using promo code DEMONSTICKS. All capital letters, no spaces, Demon Sticks. DEMONSTICKS. I can't thank everyone there enough for the opportunity to be a part of their family and for them trusting me with their amazing products. See you metal maniacs on the road very soon. And yes, the wood chips will be flying.
Greetings, boils and ghouls. This is your comrade, the Crypt Keeper here, reporting dead from the sanctuary of the strange. Tonight's macabre myth is a fright-filled feature, one overflowing with monsters, madness, and magic.
Visit our website at monstersmadnessandmagic.com to stay up to date on all the dark dealings within the sanctuary of the strange. Enjoy the show.
Hey Metalheads, I'm Mark and I host the Metal Forge. Let me tell you about the show. The Metal Forge features the best underground metal from all over the world. We spend every week with a different artist with interviews, in-depth conversations, and most of all, the music. We also feature audience interactivity where you can submit your questions to the upcoming guests. New episodes are out every Friday at noon Eastern Time at metalforgeradio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, a non-genre based, all-ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
Okay, metalheads, you've been complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time, all the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.